How I did 132K cash collected in 60 days, steal the sales framework. So I want to be fully transparent. This was not for my own coaching business or my own music coaching business. This was when I was a high ticket closer for someone else. Out of respect for that person's privacy, I won't mention their name or their business, but it was another coaching program. So I was a high ticket closer for their coaching program. Okay. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lee, Leezy the Gifted. And what I did was I scaled my music coaching business from 25K in credit card debt to 20K a month using a really simple automated IG ads client acquisition system that I created called the Music Social Funnel. Then I doubled my business the next year. Here's where the story gets kind of interesting and how this value from this video fits in. So I ran Rapid Fire Music Academy, teaching recording artists how to produce. And I did it for 2 years. And I was like, dude, you know what? I love the business and the marketing and the sales side. I do love music production, but I'm kind of like, damn, I feel like I can do more with my life. And I feel like I have this, dude, I don't want to sound hella woo-woo and even say I have a higher purpose, but I just was like, dude, I feel like I can do more. And a lot of people were coming to me being like, why are you not teaching musicians how to make money? And I was just like, oh, fuck, like, you're kind of right. And so I actually like, dude, this is where people might call me out for being a fake guru or whatever it is, but I don't give a fuck. People were like, I closed the business down, Rapid Fire Music Academy. I honestly still meet with my clients to this day. I just stopped getting new clients. But I was like, dude, I just feel like I have to do something else. Like, I got to teach people how to make money. But I was dealing with a lot of imposter syndrome. I was dealing with like kind of a lack of like, I don't even know what I would do. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, cool, I don't really know what I want my new business to be, but like, I need to make money. So in the interim where I didn't know, between Rapid Fire Music Academy and Music Money Mastery, which I'll discuss in a second, I was a high ticket closer. And so this story here of how I did 132K cash collected in 60 days was when I was a closer for somebody else. So I've obviously made hundreds of thousands of dollars myself for my own offer as well. But I wanted to talk about the sales framework because clearly the sales framework worked for teaching recording artists how to produce. It worked as a closer for somebody else, which was career coaching. And it's now worked in a biz op B2B music offer. So like this sales framework works in multiple offers in multiple niches. Anyway, I worked in that as a closer for about 4 months. 4 months. So by the way, like I do want to call myself out here. 4 months. The first month I didn't make any money because I was brand new. It was a brand new offer. The fourth month, I don't want to get into that, but like part of it was me, my attitude. I was getting kind of frustrated. I think most of it was just coming from like me. I'm kind of mentally unemployable. So I kind of was just like over it. And I was like, I really just want to go do my own thing. But also part of it had to do with like other stuff. I don't want to get into it. So then like I stopped and I launched Music Money Mastery in April 2025. That's where I was helping music producers and expert musicians get premium clients. I feel like my messaging could have been a lot better at the time. I don't think my messaging was that dialed in, but I scaled from 0 to 25K per month in 4 months. Now I'm only helping music coaches. So if you're an expert musician and you want to take your expertise and package it up into a program and get paid 4 figures per client using paid ads, like that's what I do now. So all the videos on my YouTube channel are like this. They're hella chill, low key. Usually I have a black cup of coffee. By the way, check out my mug. It's a little dinosaur. Like we're so vibing on this Friday today, bro. Oh my God. You know what's funny? I went to a coffee shop today and had an Americano and it was really good, but there's nothing like making your own coffee at home. My wife made this. Okay. Anyways, let's get to it. Sales framework. So how did I do 132K cash collected for this business in 60 days? So first thing, when you're getting on sales calls, you have to exude authoritative leadership. What does that mean? Being a leader, you have to be a leader because sales is a service. So like that's the first thing. We're going to get into note-taking worthy stuff in this video, but I do want to start with just like the principle and the frame. Sales is a service. Sales is amazing. Sales is beautiful. Sales is great. So if you don't like sales, you're going to be broke forever. So first of all, you got to get the fuck over it. Like you have to get good at sales. And I'm talking about one-to-one on a video or in person, obviously too, but like one-to-one on a video sales. Okay. Me personally, I am good at being pushy if I want to be. I don't like being pushy though, and I definitely don't want to be sleazy and shit like that. Other people are like, I don't care, I just want to get the money. I'm not. I'm more like, I kind of don't want everyone's money. I kind of just want to get people's money who are going to be good fits. But authoritative leadership means you're a leader and you're helping somebody, but you're holding them accountable. And you're the leader. So a lot of people in sales calls, like I've noticed this with my clients too, is like, if you're the sales professional, you're the one leading the call. It's your call. You're the decision maker, right? The prospect is somebody there to be helped, but it's like, it's not their call. They're not the leader. They're not the boss of the call. You are. So that's the first thing. Okay. And there's so much more we could go into with sales mindset, but I'm going to just leave it at that for the purpose of the video. Now, the other thing that I personally like to do, and I learned sales really from my boy, Austin Medlin. He's like one of the greatest people I've ever met. So you can go check out his YouTube content as well. His Instagram content's fire too. But what I learned from him and what I've taken is what we like to do, and what I teach my clients how to do, is pre-handle objections by asking lots of deep questions in discovery. So like, by the way, I'm talking to my clients a lot about this, but a lot of the reason that people don't close sales is because they don't expect objections. You need to expect them. Wait, didn't I just say to pre-handle objections? Yes, I did. But you can be like, I've done this enough. I don't know how many fucking sales calls I've taken, by the way. Hundreds, probably closer to 1,000. And it's the same with Austin, right? He's collected over, I think, $7 or $8 million on his own, and between all of his clients, over $100 million. He's taken over 7,000 sales calls. He will agree with me on this. I won't speak for him, but I think he would agree. You could run a perfect discovery, be the best authoritative leader, be the best sales professional of all time, and still get an objection at the end of a call. So you need to expect objections, but what we want to do is we want to pre-handle objections by asking lots of deep questions in discovery. Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to ask questions based around the possible objections that you might get in discovery, or that you might get at the end of a call. So I'll give you an example. What's the fucking most common objection? I need to think about it. It's the most common one. Let's just use that one. I need to think about it. Well, so what you can do is ask them about the time. I'm about to drop. Okay. Now I got to hold back a little bit. I'm about to drop a little too much game, but like, I'm not going to drop all the game, but I'm going to drop a little bit of good game here. So in like what you can do is in the discovery portion of your sales call, you can ask somebody like, hey, in terms of you wanting to get your problem solved, whatever their problem might be, whatever challenge they might have, hey, in terms of you wanting to get your challenge or your problem solved, when are you looking to get that problem solved? Like, when are you trying to solve that? Like, is this a next year thing or like a yesterday thing? And then you can dive deeper into that, no matter what they say, right? If they say, maybe in a month or two, or maybe in like a week or so. Okay, what do you mean by that, right? Like, what do you mean in a week? Why? Why not today? And if they say like, oh no, dude, I've been trying to get this problem solved. Like, I want to get this solved like yesterday. Okay, great. Like, that's awesome. How come? Like, how come you are trying to get this solved now? Why today, right? So you can dive deep into that. So then, God forbid, if at the end they're like, I need to think about it, you can just tie it back to what they said in discovery of like, hey man, listen, like you said that like you want to get this solved yesterday and you told me because it's XYZ. So, I mean, I know you just said you need to think about it, but but earlier you said you didn't. You were like, you're trying to get the problem solved. So what can we do to help you get what the help you need today? Like, what can we do today? And so you could go down the line of like all the possible objections, and I'm not going to go list them off here because I reserve that for my clients. But that is something that I did to collect the 132K. It's like, if someone said I needed to think about it, it's like, well, dude, you earlier said that you want to get your problem solved now. You said that. And by the way, I'm fine if we exit the call today and don't get your problem solved. Like, my life isn't going to change, right? I'm good financially. I have enough clients. I don't need your money. I want to help you, but I don't need it. But at the end of the day, if we leave today and we don't get the problem solved, you're staying stuck. So what can we do to get you the help? No, I really just need to think about it. I really just need to think. It's like, well, what do you need to think about? What aren't you clear on? What do you need help understanding more of? Like, that way, even if you do need to go think about it, which is like, even if we go that route, what do you need help thinking about? And then you can get the real objection. A lot of people, when they do sales, they just kind of like are submissive to the prospect, and you don't want to do that. So we want to pre-handle all of those objections as deep as possible. One of the other challenges that people go through in sales that you might go through is, even if you know all of the questions to ask, you might ask them, but you might not go deep enough. I like to use the analogy of the iceberg theory. If you've heard of that, you know how like you see an iceberg, right? And like you only see the top little bit of it. And then below the surface of the water, there's like it's like a fucking mountain almost, right? So that's exactly how you need to think about. That's exactly how you need to think about answers to questions. Like, when you ask someone a question and they give you an answer, like, dude, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like, you got to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper to uncover the full story. So that's something, like, me personally, I've gotten really good at through practice and repetitions and reviewing my sales calls, and obviously investing tens of thousands of dollars into sales coaching, is learning how to dive deep enough until you get to the point where you get a satisfactory answer. So after discovery, now that you've gotten that, you want to customize your pitch. Me personally, I take notes on sales calls, and I think I've gotten pretty good at I've realized, I'm like, dude, you're getting really good at taking notes on sales calls. When I take notes on sales calls, I will write down things that they say that I could relate to the pitch. So if they, like, for example, with the career coaching offer, it's a great example. I'll ask them, like, hey, how many interviews have you gotten in the last 3 to 6 months or 3 months? Or I might be like, how many interviews did you get? Right? And they'll be like, oh, I've gotten none. So I'm like, okay, like, that's part of the pitch. I'll be like, how to get more interviews. And I'll put that in the pitch. So I'm like, hey, and then I'll ask them, like, why? Like, why have you gotten no interviews? Well, I use LinkedIn. I know this isn't related to music coaching, but I use LinkedIn, and I just, like, quickly apply to jobs, and, like, I don't get any responses. Okay, well, LinkedIn Quick Apply is stupid as fuck. If I never would use that kind of language in that offer, but LinkedIn Quick Apply is dumb as fuck to get jobs. So I'll write that in the pitch. Okay, you're using LinkedIn Quick Apply. It's literally not working. You know what I mean? So, like, I would use that in my pitch. So then when I go do my pitch, like pillar 1 or pillar 2, I'd be like, hey, John, you know how you said, and by the way, John's not the name of any real clients from that program. I just use that as an example. I'd be like, hey, John, you know how you said you're using LinkedIn Quick Apply and, like, you've gotten no interviews? Yeah, that's because LinkedIn Quick Apply is a really inefficient and terrible method, as you already know. Here's the way we do it. And then I would explain to them how we did it. In the sense of a music coaching offer, like what I'm doing now, I would be like, hey, like, what are you currently charging? What do you currently charge to coach people? Well, I charge about $80 to $100 an hour. Okay. $100 an hour. Cool. How many, like, and what's your goal? Like, how much money are you trying to make? Oh, I'm trying to get to 10K a month. Like, okay. So I'm thinking, like, okay, 10K a month. So then, like, when I get to my pitch, like, my first pillar is offer. Like, well, the first thing that I do with you when you join Music Money Mastery is I create your offer for you. But before that, you identify who is your ideal client. We get really, really, really specific on who your ideal client is. And we do this thing called messaging triggers, where you distinguish who would be an example of a broke-minded person that you don't want to work with, and then what's an example of a rich-minded person that you'd want to work with. Then I will create an offer for you based on that. And obviously it's a 4-figure investment that you're going to charge people. I tell my clients to start at 2K. Like you should start at 2 or 3. If you have the confidence, start at 3K, go ahead. My client Allie starts at 3K. She's doing over 10K a month now. So, that's an example. My client Ange, I think she's charging 1.5 or 2K to do like custom production and coaching for other clients. And she does over 10K a month as well. My client Condor, he just got a 3K paid in full for a brand new coaching offer that he just launched. First sales call taken, first client, he got 3K. So anyway, so back to the example. Let's say that you're charging 80 to 100 bucks an hour for what you do, local lessons, whatever it might be, or your online coaching. I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to say anything in the discovery. I'm going to be like, I'm going to go to the pitch. This is so meta, by the way. It's so funny, but I'm going to go to the pitch and I'm going to be like, okay, you know how you said earlier you're charging 80 to 100 an hour? Yeah. Okay. Let's just call it 100 an hour. Got it. So you're charging 100 an hour and you said you want to get to 10K a month, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. So if you want to get to 10K a month divided by 100 an hour, like you'd have to get 100 hours per month. And like, let's say each person pays you $400 total per month because each person meets with you once a week, right? So 10K divided by 400 would get you 20. So I basically explained to them like you would need 25 clients per month to get to 10K a month. They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, you'd need to get 20. First of all, you need to get to that many clients. Like that's going to take you a while to get that many clients, and maintaining that many clients is going to be really, really hard. So if you just charge $2,000, you'd only need to get 5 clients. That's 5 times less work than what you're currently doing. And then it's funny because like I'm using this as an example, but you might actually resonate with this. So I'm like, okay, see how I'm showing that to them in the pitch though? I asked about it in discovery and then I tie it back to the pitch. So that's kind of how you want to do things too. Now you might be like, well, Lee, I don't do a B2B offer. I do a music production offer. Cool. So like my last offer was Rapid Fire Music Academy, which was teaching recording artists how to produce their own music. So what I would ask, I'd be like, cool, like, how are you currently getting beats, mixing, and mastering done? And they'd be like, oh, I buy beats on the internet. And then, like, I go to this local studio to, like, record, mix, and master, even though I have a home recording set up. And then, like, I pay for the mixing, mastering. I'm like, how's that working out for you? It sucks. I don't like it. That's why I'm on the call with you. But, like, buying beats is fine. Like, I don't actually mind buying the beats. But, like, I don't love how I can't customize the beats. And I don't love how, like, I don't get to put my own creativity into my music. I also don't love how I don't own the rights to the music. And then like in terms of the mixing and mastering, like the person I work with, they're really good at what they do, but like they're kind of busy all the time and they don't get my mixes back to me quick enough. And I feel like I'm kind of stagnant in my music career. Cool. So I'm writing all this down. And then when I go into my pitch, I'm like, hey, you know how you said you don't like the lack of creative control that you have because you buy beats on the internet? Like, yeah, cool. So in pillar 2, I'm going to teach you how to produce instrumentals. But you know how you said you don't know how to play an instrument? Yeah. You don't know how to play piano? Yeah. So I'm going to teach you how to produce instrumentals without needing to know music theory. Really? Yeah. I mean, I know music theory personally, but like none of my clients know it and I didn't know it at first and I still was able to make beats and I'm going to show you how to do it and then XYZ. So I'm like tying back what they say in discovery into my pitch. Because basically what you want to do, like here's how you have to think about it. So starting out, authoritative leadership, you're the fucking person, like you're confident, you're holding them accountable, like it's your call, you're in control. That makes the prospect feel more comfortable because they look at you as the authoritative leader. Like they need to pay somebody who is confident enough to lead them. So that's the first. The second thing is, dude, you're literally asking them so many in-depth questions, pre-handling their objections. And then the third thing is like, you're literally customizing the pitch to them. So this is how you make it a no-brainer at the end. I mean, now, once it gets to money, your price might be out of what they thought their budget would be. Your price might be really expensive to them, even though it's not actually expensive. You know, all those things. And so that's why, like, you're probably still going to get some objections, and that's part of the game. But we want to make it as no-brainer of a yes as possible at the end of the call. And that's how we do it. And then in terms of objection handling, like, dude, in Music Money Mastery, I have literally an entire objection handling masterclass that I do that, like, obviously I'm not going to share it here for free because that would be disrespectful to my clients. But what you can think about is if you do everything correctly up to that point, then they get an objection, you can isolate the objection and then just like obliterate that objection right then and there and then get them going on the call. So that's kind of a tip of the that's kind of a tip of the iceberg of sales and how you can start to actually use this framework to grow your music coaching business. So listen, if you got value from this and you're like, this is great, but you don't want to actually try to build your music coaching business on your own because you value time over money, then I'd love to invite you to apply to work with me. Book a call down below just to see if we can, if it makes sense. And then we can get on a sales call. But dude, here's how I do sales calls, bro. If it doesn't make sense, I'm not going to try and close you. Like I don't need the money, but if I can help you, here's the truth. If I can help you, if I'm confident I can help you and you are too, I'm going to customize a plan, because everything I do with every single person is customized, and it's one-to-one, and it's a build with you program. And so what I'll do at the end of the call is like customize a plan, see what I can do to work with you, and then partner up and help you scale your music business to full time in the next 6 months. If it's not the right fit, though, I'm just going to point you in a different direction. I don't care. I'm not tripping. So, or if you need to have a one-on-one with me, bro, just like shoot me a DM. Link is in the description. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Let's have a chop it up first. Otherwise, we could just book in a call right away. So, really appreciate you joining me for this video. I'm honored to be able to serve and support you in your journey, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.